All right, so we got the 11:10 spoilers, and this chapter is absolutely insane because we are seeing the Gorosei's Zhoniin devil fruit forms. Yep, it was teased at the end of the previous chapter, and it is paying off. We are fully seeing them here, or at least they are being described to us. Of course, we can't see them yet, but at least we could speculate on what they could truly be until the chapter is released. Also, surprisingly, we're getting the result of Zoro versus Lucci in this chapter as well, and we'll talk about it. But first, let's get into what had happened in the previous chapter, because we are coming off of a break week. So after Vegapunk had died, like his contingency activated, where he was like broadcasting this past recording to anyone essentially with a Denden Mushi, I guess, where he's going to reveal like all the tea and all the secrets and the dirt on the world government, and he was giving everyone enough time to get a video Denden Mushi because not everybody has one, and he basically set like the ticking clock at that point. It was like 10 minutes, everybody go get your video Denden Mushi, because I guess whatever he's showing them needs to be seen, not just heard. So that of course started to really worry the Gorosei, because you know they're all about not having anything come out about the Void Century or what they're truly doing with the world government and everything. So suddenly they just started telepathically communicating with each other despite not being anywhere near each other, and they were like, you know, we got to figure out where this is coming from. It's probably coming from the Labo phase. And also Luffy was just taking care of business at this time too, going against Saturn and Kizaru at the same time. But it eventually got to the point of where Saturn was like, all right, we don't have time, I'm gonna have to bring you guys here. And he's like, I'll make the summons. And then the same like portal pentagram circle thing that he came to Egghead on, 4 others of them appear, and he brings the Gorosei to Egghead right in front of Luffy. And that's like where the chapter let off. And like I said, we are seeing what they look like. But also before that, in this chapter on the cover page, we see Yamato is traveling through Wano. So I don't know if anybody's really interested in this, but I do think that this new cover story is going to be somewhat important. Like the last one, we saw that Onigashima sunk to the bottom of Wano suddenly. We don't know how that happened. And now we're seeing Yamato traveling through Wano, which she said that she needed to do before she could join the Straw Hats. So maybe once this side Yamato story is over, then she'll join the Straw Hats in the final arc, maybe. But anyway, the 4 remaining members of the Gorosei arrive at Egghead. We see their quote-unquote yokai forms, and they are all awakened like Saturn. So it says yokai in quotations here because that's at least what we believe Saturn's devil fruit to be based off of, like the yokai de Ushi Oni, which is like a bull spider. We've talked about this many times, just putting it out there for anyone who's unfamiliar. So it's very likely that the rest of the Gorosei forms are also based off of yokais, and we'll get into that. So Venus Juro, Samurai Gandhi, is a wild horse. Did not expect this. I'm actually kind of flabbergasted because I just recorded a collab with Sai the other day where we were talking about how he's probably like a dog yokai or something. And I was basically going off of that because Writing Panini on Twitter posted a pretty interesting theory where he thought that the Gorosei's devil fruits were based off of the Chinese pentagram. And it was kind of accurate at first because it showed that, you know, on the pentagram that related to Saturn, it was like an ox, which, you know, the top part of the Ushioni is like a bull or an ox or whatever. And then also Mercury, the tip of the pentagram, is a pig, and that's going to be confirmed here. And also it was kind of confirmed in his silhouette that he was like a pig or something. And then even going further, it showed that Mars was a fowl, which of course he is because he had the clearest silhouette. And then I thought, okay, then I guess that means that Venus and Jupiter correlate to the pentagram as well. And on that, for Venus, it was a dog. Well, no, he is a horse, some kind of horse yokai, and your guess is as good as mine. If you go to yokai.com, there's a bunch of possible horse yokai. But first, let's talk about the sponsor of this video, Mecha Japan. Mecha Japan is an online store that sells products from major Japanese licenses such as Jujutsu Kaisen, One Piece, Dragon Ball, Yu-Gi-Oh, and many more. They have over 12,000 high-quality products straight from Japan with great prices and even better customer service that will respond to you in English. They also have worldwide shipping and many rare Japanese products that are only available at MechaJapan.com. So guys, Mecha Japan actually has a giveaway going on right now where you can win this this Bakugo Nendroid, this Nobara combination battle figure, and this really cool One Piece Onigashima raid figure set. All you have to do is follow Mech Japan on X, follow their TikTok profile, and follow them on Instagram as well for you to be entered into this giveaway. It's going to last 2 weeks from now, and then one lucky person will be picked to receive all of these for free. I'll have the links in the description. And as for me, I picked up this incredible Janemba figure from Mecha Japan. This thing is so aesthetic, and I cannot wait to add it to my collection. It's also pretty rare and can only be found in Japan. So again, guys, I'll have the links for their socials in the description. I'll also have a link that you can use to go to their site. And also, guys, make sure you use code ZO5 for $5 off your orders of $50 or more. Thanks. Candidates here, but the coolest looking one is like the Kirin, but it's probably not that because it says that it's purely a vegetarian. It never harms another creature, which doesn't really line up with the Gorosei, and I don't think they would pick a yokai that isn't absolutely feared. So I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you think it is. Also, you know, we'll go more into what these yokais could be, you know, what their devil fruits are based off of in the follow-up spoiler video once we get the full summary, because I'm sure there will be more Japanese viewers giving us more info at that point, or just people who understand this yokai stuff better than me. Now, as for Jupiter, or Jupiter, he is a giant monstrous worm. So that's definitely a surprise to me. He had like a weird looking silhouette. It looked like a big head kind of, and I guess that was the big head of the worm. Also, people speculated that he could have been the Nupipo, or however you pronounce that yokai, which looks like his silhouette, but no, I guess it's a worm. And as for worm yokai, if you just Google search a worm yokai, the most popular result is the Uzaki no Mushi. So I don't know, maybe it's based off of that. Mercury, or Mercury, is a giant wild boar. So this was one of the easier ones because, like I said, it kind of lines up with his silhouette. As for what his yokai could be based off of, it's hard to say. The popular theory was that it was the Baku, but I don't know if that necessarily is like a boar one for one. There are other kind of boar yokais, but again, you know, we'll just have to wait to get more information. And then Marcus Mars, he's the easiest by far. He's a giant bird because his silhouette looks like a freaking bird. Like I said, that was easy. So yeah, these are the Gorosei's devil fruits. They are also awakened, of course, like Saturn's, and they're probably all wickedly powerful. Now, going further, the Gorosei tries to attack Luffy. As you know, we speculated about that could happen because since they are right there, I thought maybe some of them would have attacked him, and then maybe some of them would have went after Vegapunk's transmission, you know, in the lava phase to try and stop it. But no, they're just like, you know what, he's right here, let's just kill him real quick, and then we'll go after the transmission because, you know, we have at least 10 minutes. But the giants arrive to stop them. So this is another thing we talked about. The giants were actively looking for Luffy at this point. Like, they did what they needed to do, like shutting down the Marines. And then they were like, oh, we're going to get Luffy because they're there for him. I guess they, you know, once they found out in the newspaper or whatever what was going on with Luffy, they realized, oh, he's Sun God Nika now. And we knew about him the whole time. And we were waiting for him to come back just like everybody, even though we didn't talk about it before. But now we're going to get Luffy and we're going to bring him back to Elbaf. So they show up there and they're stopping the Gorosei. Don't know how successful they're going to be because it just doesn't make sense, even with the power creep that's going on, that they would be strong enough to fight off the Gorosei. But I don't know, maybe all of them together are strong enough to at least, I don't know, prevent them from attacking Luffy at the minimum. And also, like I said, I don't think we're going to get a conclusive fight here, you know, but we'll see. We'll talk more about this in the full summary. But a fight that we are getting a conclusion to is Zoro versus Lucci, because Zoro defeats Lucci. You know, we speculated this was probably going to happen. At least I did. There's no way that Lucci would be able to defeat Zoro, like, or at least push him close to defeat. These are just, it wouldn't make sense in my opinion, even with his awakened form. And yeah, it's satisfying to see Zoro get that W, even though it was off screen for 6 months at this point. It's fine. I don't know if Jinbei helped. It's not being mentioned here, but Jinbei was on his way to quote unquote help Zoro. So I don't know, maybe he shows up after the fact, but yeah, that's pretty much it for this one, guys. Let me know what you think about this in the comments. And like I said, we'll go way more into this stuff once we get the full summary, which will probably be out tomorrow, hopefully. So subscribe for that if you haven't already. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.